Today, I want to talk about the 2028 election and how Trump has just handed the Democrats the 2028 election, or at least that's how I feel, because Trump's bill, the big beautiful bill, the Medicaid cuts, won't affect anyone until after the midterms. Now, I think this actually damages Republicans' chances of winning 2028, but will for sure help their chances of keeping the House and the Senate in 2026. So I do think this is somewhat short sighted by Trump, but most politicians are short sighted anyway. And the reason I believe this is because whenever the Medicaid cuts start coming in, you know, in the middle of 2026, early 2026, late 20, and people start to feel this, then I think this will be, the Medicaid cuts will be more, I guess, ingrained in the memory of everyday Americans, and it will just be fresher in the memory of Americans, and they'll see these cuts and how rapidly they're coming within within the same year, within the like same 14 months that the primaries start to take place. Now, I have Gavin Newsom and Wes Moore for my Democratic nominees. Of course, Gavin Newsom is leading the betting odds, and also in the most recent opinion polling I could see, Gavin Newsom has a 12% margin right now. Josh Shapiro also has a 12% margin um, right now. But if I had to go off, yes, right now, I do think Gavin Newsom would be the nominee. Yes, because of how he's campaigning so well currently. Uh, I mean, he's campaigning in 2025. I mean, he just took a tour to down to South Carolina. Now, I do think the Democrats' best chances at winning the 2028 election would be in Josh Shapiro, but right now I have Gavin Newsom just because he's leading the betting odds and he's the second to best Democrat. I guess that's not Kamala Harris leading the odds. And then I have Wes Moore to be his VP, hopefully to appeal to more people. And Wes Moore's just overall a charismatic dude. And then JD Vance and Marco Rubio, of course, JD Vance is just dominating the odds. And then Marco Rubio second. Also, Marco Rubio is in the Trump administration, and I think Marco Rubio is also a very comes across as very intelligent, moderate Republican. Anyway, let's go ahead and get down to the safe states. Now, I 100% see Republicans will probably keep the Senate. They probably will. Worst case scenario, the Senate's a tie, 50-50. And then they have JD Vance, so it's more like 51 versus 50. Um, Florida will be safe because of Marco Rubio, and Ohio safe because of JD Vance, Gavin Newsom, and Wes Moore. Colorado, Illinois, Hawaii, Hawaii, Now, I could, if Republicans do keep the House, I think that might actually even be worse for them in 2028 because then they can't offload the blame to the Democrats in a way. So to be safe, you have to be within 10 points for me. So after all of my safe states, I have it 179 to 178 with Gavin Newsom and Wes Moore leading. Now we'll go over to the likelies. I think New Jersey, Virginia, Minnesota, and New Mexico for the Democrats all go to the Democrats by around anywhere between 5 to 9%, somewhere around there. And then I do think JD Vance Marco Rubio take Texas by around 9%, 8%, and sorry, not New Hampshire. This district of Maine by around 9, probably around 7 points. And then Governor Newsom Westmore will take this district also by around 7, probably by around 4 or 5 points. Now, we're getting down to the swing states. I'll go ahead and get New Hampshire out the way, which went to Kamala Harris, and I think Gavin Newsom and Westmore will probably win it by around 4.5%, maybe 5%, somewhere around there. Now, I want to talk about Wisconsin first. Wisconsin was the closest state to flipping Democratic in the maps, to switching Democratic in this past election. As we saw, Wisconsin only went to Trump by 0.86%. And, as you see by this map, every other state went to Trump by over a point. So I do think Gavin Newsom and Wes Moore could do pretty good at taking Wisconsin, probably by around probably by around 1.5 points, somewhere around there. Now, Michigan would definitely be a lot easier to win if we say we have a Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer ticket. But based off of opinion polling and betting odds, I think Gavin Newsom, just based off right now, is a much more likely candidate. I do think the best ticket for the Democrats would be Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer, because if they have Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer, that's basically guaranteeing that they get Pennsylvania and Michigan, and that would win it for them. But right now it's Gavin Newsom, which is probably one of the worst candidates the Democrats could pick. Now, I don't think Gavin Newsom could really win Michigan. I mean, we look over here, Trump won it by 1.4%. I mean, I could see it. I do think it does depend a lot on the ticket, but with these, Michigan is definitely a state that has a lot of, because they're the only states that don't have these, I guess, Medicaid cuts are states that didn't take the Obamacare offers. If you know what I'm talking about. But I do think, let's say we just have Gretchen Whitmer campaign and whoever the governor is at the time for Gavin Newsom, Wes Moore, I think they could win Michigan. And definitely, if they get Josh Shapiro on the tickets, Democrats win Pennsylvania. But I think without Josh Shapiro, I think J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio still take Pennsylvania, and they will take North Carolina by around 2 to 3 points, and they'll also take Arizona by around 3 points. After that, I do think Gavin Newsom, I do think Wes Moore could definitely do pretty well in a place like Georgia. I could also see Wes Moore winning Pennsylvania for the Democrats just because he's governor of Maryland. That could help them. But I think I'm going to give Pennsylvania to J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio. But have Gavin Newsom and Wes Moore win Georgia. And I do think Nevada flipping to the Republicans was more of a one-time thing. Was more of a one-time thing. And I do think that Gavin Newsom and Wes Moore could win Nevada. I could totally see a world right now where they win Georgia, but probably not. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and peace out.